you so much. And now we have another speech by our comrades from the International Women's Space.
2 days ago, the Ministry of Health in Gaza released a list of over 7,000 Palestinians killed. It included nearly 3,000 children. Each name listed with their government ID number to rubbish accusations of fake numbers. A response to Genocide Joe of the USA and those like him who choose to erase the existence of Palestinians, both dead and alive. Germany and the other financiers, enablers and cheerleaders of the genocide should be haunted both by the magnitude and the statistics and by the individuals that make up the numbers. As one Twitter user put it, to be haunted by the baby YouTuber who wanted 100,000 subscribers, by the 10-year-old who said she cannot fight, she's only 10, by that child shaking in a hospital, breaking down when the doctor embraced him, by the kid who wanted to be an engineer to rebuild his city so tourists will visit, by the medical staff who refused to abandon their people, by the little boy who carried his baby sister in his arms, by the little girl who embraced her younger siblings when their adults in her home were killed, by the toddler who lost her entire family before she even learned to speak and might never find out what her dad and mom named her, by Wael al-Dahdour who lost his entire family and led their funeral prayer and immediately went back to speaking the truth of his people, by the young men who dug out children from the rubble with their bare hands and then embraced them, by the artists who returned Palestinian children their childhood for a few moments, mere hours before the hospital they were sheltering in was bombed, by the old woman who chose to stay in her house and accept death instead of surrendering her place in this world, by the doctors and nurses who stand with their patients, by the family whose 88 members were killed in destruction. Haunted by humans, not mere statistics. We're not all from Palestine, but most of us from the global south know what it is like to have our history retold and our dehumanization justified by the imperialist regimes that seek to erase our culture, expression, and our humanity. We connect these struggles for freedom and self-determination. We believe the fight for emancipation of Palestinians and marginalized people everywhere is historical and justified. For the last 2 years, NATO has used all the resources in its power, millions of euros and weaponry to guard the sovereignty of Ukraine. Sadly, the occupation and massacre of Palestinians raises no protest. The world watches as Israel carries out a genocide and cuts off the access of millions of Palestinians in Gaza to the most basic of human needs: water, food, medication and shelter. When Palestinians defend themselves, somehow they are the oppressors, aggravators and the enemy. We are being conditioned to vilify Palestinians where they are starved and killed for simply existing on their land. Look at Israel, its occupation, detention, carpet bombing, targeting residential units, hospitals, the families of journalists they would like to use silence, use of white phosphorus lace projectiles, and you will know who the oppressors are. How can the world see Israel's ongoing attempt at wiping out an entire population as justified? A country whose history is defined by one of the world's darkest eras of systematic state-sponsored persecution and genocides, Germany should call Israel out. Instead, this country is a supporter of the murderous and racist apartheid Israeli regime. This country's genocidal past disables Palestinian determination in the liberation fight. Today, to Germany, we say, deal with your guilt. Stop projecting your shame on Palestinians. One Holocaust does not justify another. Criticizing Israel is not anti-Semitism. Enough of the mischaracterization and weaponization of the movement for freedom of Palestine. If you are sick, burnt out and traumatized hearing about the genocide in Palestine, imagine how those experiencing it feel. Germany must stop feeding the genocidal and parasitic Israeli regime. We demand the liberation of Palestine. Palestine should and must be sovereign. Palestinians have a right to exist, right to be free, right to self-rule, and right to self-determination. Palestinian lives matter. Power to the resistance of Palestine. Ceasefire now.